Hello, my name is William Ross Jones and I'm an actor, director and private tutor. So I've been sort of asked to do this as a short video for all of you drama students that are stuck at home, not able to get outside because of the quarantine and the virus and what. So I thought I'd just do a quick video to say sort of what I've been doing, how I got to where I am now, and if there's any advice I could give to people who are trying to get into the industry, and advice on how to spend your time while you're stuck at home. So first of all, I was born in Hampshire. I was born around here and I did loads of amateur theatre from the age of sort of 4 or 5. And I then went on to do sort of GCSE drama, you know, all that stuff. And then I went on to drama school. So I went on to do a 3-year degree at the Academy of Live and Recorded Arts, which is called ALRA. And I graduated in 2017 with a BA Hons in acting. I then went straight on tour with Aladdin. So I did tour for 7 months on the Aladdin UK tour playing the Dame. Did over 140 performances. So that's what I did straight out of drama school. And then I've just been touring around. I've done a wide range of stuff. You know, I've done bits for radio. I'm doing a Sky Crime series at the moment, which airs in 3 weeks. It's on in 2 weeks in the US and 3 weeks in the UK. So that's really interesting, really exciting. So it's all happening, but it is really hard at the moment. Obviously, as theatres are shutting down, you know, the industry is taking a massive hit. But what I would say to people is think about all the wonderful creative people that are now sat at home with time on their hands, who are devising plays, writing sitcoms. There is going to be so much great stuff that comes out of this time of sort of real sadness and depression. You know, if we look at things like the Great Depression in America, it produced wonderful, you know, the blues music and the eras that come out. You know, what we created in the war creatively was fantastic. And when times are hard, people tend to turn to the arts. And I think that this will be a real motivation for people to create some really lovely and beautiful pieces of theatre, film and music. In terms of advice, what advice I would give people who are looking to go to drama school, who are looking to get into the industry: see as much theatre as possible. All theatre is good theatre, from children's theatre to panto, to, you know, more sort of straight plays, musicals. Don't limit yourself on just musical theatre. It's amazing when I sit on audition panels and see people auditioning for theatre companies and things like that, or agency interviews. People have great knowledge of musicals naturally, and they can sing every line of Evan Hansen or Hamilton, and they forget that musical theatre is one part of a massive industry. Now, you may be sat there thinking, well, musical theatre is what I enjoy, musical theatre is what I want to do. To those people, I'd say, that's great and wonderful, do it, but all my friends who are in musical theatre are now unemployed. You know, I've got friends who are in things like Hamilton, they're not at work, you know. I'm still able to film, you know, I can still do radio dramas, things like that. I'm still working, so don't limit yourself. You can always do musical theatre, and it's wonderful to do, but don't just limit yourself to that. Okay, and the other thing I would say is keep training. You know, train yourself. And by training, it's not always fun. Yeah, anyone can go to a workshop with a theatre professional, and that's brilliant, and you should do those things. You really should. But you have to question and say, is going and learning a dance off a West End professional really the best way of training? You know, would you start learning to ride a bike by going for a lesson with Chris Hoy in the velodrome? Probably not. Start small. So go right back to the beginning. The first thing they do when you get to drama school is teach you how to walk, how to breathe. You don't start by singing, you start by breathing. Yeah, so don't run before you can walk. Build yourself up, because otherwise you'll get yourself in a load of bad habits, and that's what can trip people up in a drama school audition. Drama schools look for 3 things. They look for talent, truth, and trainability. They're the 3 main things that come up time and time again, the 3 T's. I say with my students, 3 T's: talent, truth, and trainability. So talent, one of the hardest ones, okay? Because a lot of it, you've either got or you haven't, okay? And it's a really difficult one, okay? And the industry it's very hard when you're good, and it's almost impossible if you're just okay. So it's a brutal industry, and having that talent is one thing that you've either got or you've not. Truth, probably the hardest one, okay? And now truth to me means someone who is not faking something, someone who is being real. If you look at 2 actors on a stage stood next to each other, one may have a certain presence that the other one hasn't got. You look at a great theatre actor, probably someone like Mark Rylance. He can bring so much truth to a character, and that's what we need to see in performances, and that's what can trip people up. So working on the truth of the character as opposed to Disneyfying and kind of projecting our implications onto a character, it is a great way to start. Start at the beginning, start small. What is the character actually saying? So often people will go to sixth form colleges, and I see people all the time in the shows that I direct. They say, they come to me and they go, oh, well, I've used Meisner on this, and I've thought about, including a bit of Michael Chekhov, a bit of Artaud in here. It's rubbish, and you should know about those practitioners, absolutely. But I don't care. As a director, I don't care what you bring to me. All that's telling me is that you know a few people's names in theatre. What I care about is you bringing something to the character. Yeah, so quite often people will come in and they'll say, oh, well, I've used this and I've used this technique. And I'll go, but what are you actually saying? What is your character actually saying? And they can't answer. They can tell me all about Pina Bausch and how she uses movement and all that, but they can't tell me what their character is actually saying. Yeah? What would your character buy at the shops? They can't answer that. So take it back to basics and start small. The other one is potentially the most important, which is the other of the 3 T's, which is trainability. So trainability is your ability to not only be trained, but to work with others. And I've worked with some really big people in theatre who've said to me basically they've worked with people because they like them. And that's one of the biggest tips I would give to you. I've worked a fair amount in my career. I've been very lucky. I'm starting to do a little bit less now because I'm focusing on other things. But a lot of the time I've worked with people time and time again. There's a company I've toured with now 6 times because they like me and I like them. So we work together. And I'm 90% sure, I'm a very sort of mediocre actor in many ways. But I've got a lot of work because, I get on with people. And I'm fun to be around. And that's one of the biggest things. Don't have an ego. There's no place for it. You've got to have a little bit in your head which thinks that you're good enough, and you've got to go into an audition with that bit of going, yeah, I can do this. Because if you go into an audition thinking, he's better than me, she's better than me, you might as well go home. You've got to have that competitive edge, but it's not an ego. Yeah, you've got to stay humble. And, just because you're on telly and you're earning good money, you've got to stay humble. Quite often people come into drama school auditions and they fall because they can be too trained or trained in the wrong way. I would say if you've gone to stage school since the age of 5 and you've done all the rest of it, that's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, but beware of falling into the traps. So if you've become so well trained at your school or college that you're getting the lead roles and everything, you're pushing yourself and challenging yourself, that you've become comfortable. You've stopped improving. And what you'll find all of a sudden is you'll go into a drama school audition and be beaten by someone who's maybe less trained than you are, but because the drama school know that they can mould them into what they want to be. Okay, so there's sort of some things to think about, really. It's just a short video. In terms of future plans, I know that was one of the questions that I was asked. Future plans, I'm sort of focusing more on teaching aspect of it. I teach privately, drama school entrance auditions, things like that. We've been really lucky this year, so 5 of my students have got places at drama schools, so I'm really thrilled for them. So it's just about, that's really what I want to focus on. I think the days of sort of touring around, staying in little travel lodges, I'll leave to the 20-year-old actors who've just graduated. I don't think that's for me anymore. But I'm directing, so I direct for a company called CPYT. Just a bit of fun. I do that amateur theatre. I think it's wonderful, and the talent that they have is absolutely brilliant. I'm also the head of acting at Theatre Train in Southampton. So both of those I sort of am able to keep training actors. But I do still, as I say, I do the odd bit of acting. I'm acting on Sky Crime at the moment. I do a bit of radio voiceover work. So keeping busy. I know it's difficult. I know it's boring. Keep reading plays. Keep watching theatre. RSC are doing live streams of their shows. Do articulation work. Mine is horrific at the moment because I've spent 2 days not speaking to anyone. Keep doing articulation exercises. Keep your skills fresh because they will fade. Okay, your skills will fade. You can't just sit there for 6 weeks and expect to be the same level as you were before. You've got to keep practicing. Okay, so thank you very much if you've watched this the whole way through. I hope that was helpful, and yeah, good luck and stay well.